All right, so we created this imbalance on the daily charts on NASDAQ. Monday consolidated, Tuesday took Monday's low into the imbalance, right? So looking at how we close on Tuesday, what will be your bias today, Wednesday? What will be your bias?
A swing low to go up higher.
So we'll be expecting a higher expansion, right? So our daily bias has been determined to be bullish. Okay. So what will be our initial target? Our initial target will be this low hanging fruit. Okay. Yeah. That would be the easiest thing to target. So now if we are bullish, what are we expecting? We are expecting market to open at 9:30, Judah swing lower or a false move lower. Give us a change in state of delivery. We can confirm the manipulation low with SMT divergence. Then once we get the change in state of delivery, then we can take our buys and we can target this level. Okay. So we are going to go to the 15 minutes and then the 5 minutes, and we are going to see what happened today. So we can see that first of all, before we go to the 15 minutes, we've determined our bias on the daily. We can find supporting PDRAs on the 4-hour and then the 1 hour as well, because the Judah swing low, it's not just going to be random. We are going to have a Judah swing to the downside into some form of PDRA on the 4-hour or the 1 hour, right? So like I said, we already determined our bias to be bullish on the daily, looking at how price came into this imbalance and closed higher. So today we are expecting higher prices. And if you are expecting higher prices, we are expecting market to open at midnight and trade lower into some form of PDRA on the 4-hour or H1 to then continue higher. So let's look at the 4-hour time frame and the 1 hour and mark certain levels that we can expect the Judah swing to come down into. So if we go to the 4-hour, we can see that on the 4-hour, we had this 4-hour imbalance. That's a big imbalance. So if you are bullish for today, we can expect price to open and dip into this imbalance before we go up, right? We can further refine these levels on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we can find other levels, right? So on the 1 hour, we also have this order block, okay? So we can keep this 4-hour imbalance. We can also mark out this 1 hour order block. So we are bullish. Our bias is bullish on the day. So we are expecting price to open and start going down, give us a false move to the downside to trick everyone to sell the market, right? And as everyone is being tricked to sell, then smart money is pairing his buys with the sell orders to take the market up. So we are going to look at time because it's time and price. We don't take our trades randomly. We pair our entries at the right time of day. So looking at price, and when it comes to the indices, we like to trade from 8:30 to 11. That's where we look for our setups, right? If there is a high impact news at 8:30, we can definitely take the 8:30 Judah swing or false move. But today we didn't have any high impact news. It was just some medium impact news. So we can focus on the 9:30 open. So the 9:30 opened right on this candle. Okay. Already the 8:30 open had already given us a Judah swing lower. But since we didn't get on the calendar, we didn't have any high impact news. Our focus will come on the 9:30 open. So already we are having the Judah swing lower, and we expect 9:30 to manipulate one more time to then turn around, right? So since this fair value gap price went through it, we can just delete it and focus on the 1 hour order block here. Okay. So price was inside this 1 hour order block, and right time of day, we have 9:30 equities open. Now, when it comes to the indices, you should focus your entries more on the M5 and an M1. If you try to focus your entries on the M15, you're going to miss some critical entry points because these guys, they move very, very, very fast. So, but I like to do more of M5 because it's less noisy than the M1. The M1 can be very, very noisy. So we are looking at price, and let's mark out the 930 open. 930 open is on this candle here. If we are bullish for the session, what are we expecting? We're expecting the open, manipulation lower, turn around to then go bullish, right? So what happened is that we opened 930. 930 created this short-term low, then a high, then a lower low. So we swept this short-term low. We are already inside our 1 hour order block. Our daily bias is already bullish. We've already had a Judah swing lower at 830 and one more Judah swing low at 930. But this low that comes in at 930 on the NASDAQ, that same low on S&P 500 was not taken, and that gives us SMT divergence, right? So my indicator is telling me that this low that has been taken here on NASDAQ, that same corresponding low on S&P 500 has not been taken. So let me quickly just pull up S&P 500 charts, and we can compare the lows manually. You can see here, we made a lower low here by taking this 930 low. Look at what we have on S&P 500. That same low was not taken, so that gives us an SMT divergence. It tells us that smart money was just manipulating the short-term low for longs, right? He's pairing the sell-side liquidity here with his buy orders. So this SMT divergence confirms to us that the Judah swing has come to an end. We confirm it with a change in state of delivery, which we had right here. These 3 consecutive down close candles, we close above the opening of the first candle. That's our change in state of delivery. This tells us that the market has now changed from a bearish program into a bullish program, right? So as soon as you see the change in state of delivery, you can buy right away as this candle closes above. Because this one, we had the retest on the candle that followed, but sometimes you didn't have the retest. So once you see your SMT divergence, change in state of delivery, right time of day, you can buy right away here, place stop loss down here. And then what is our target? We've already set a target on the daily. That's our low hanging fruit. So when it comes to the entry, you can buy either on NASDAQ or on the US 500 or S&P 500, right? But they move in tandem, right? So after the manipulation and change instead of delivery, you can choose to buy either the NASDAQ or the S&P 500. But I love to trade the NASDAQ more. So let me just get rid of this chart now because we've been able to identify our lows with a forced move. Okay, so let's just focus on NASDAQ. So this will be our M5 entry after our change instead of delivery after manipulation. So our target, low hanging fruit target is here. That's our low hanging fruit target. And that has been hit. Go to the daily. Like I said, that's our low hanging fruit target. This high. That's why we'll be targeting. So back to the M5. One thing about the stop loss placement is that you can place stop loss just here. Just here below this consolidating candles. Yeah, that's your stop loss. But it's like because something rally, base, rally. So base candles are also some form of order blocks. Okay, with price expands, pause with consolidation, and then we have the next expansion. That consolidation area can also be an order block or a demand level, as some people may call it, right? So rally base, rally. So I don't expect price to break back below these base candles, right? Because we rallied here, we paused and accumulated and collected more this year, and then boom, one more expansion outside. The change already happened on this. This is the bearish candles open right there. So as soon as this candle close, you can buy and place stop loss below these indecision candles. and you target this level, and that will be a 2.6 R race to reward. Very, 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 very simple setup. Very, very simple setup. If you have any questions, you can ask.
No, we're good.
Okay.
So where it reversed, you see where it didn't hit our target, it started going right
Yeah.
at the end of your blue.
Yeah.
And reversed.
I'm that
You're
type.
okay there, you're holding.
Yeah,
You're fine.
I'm that type that I don't like going break even. I either take full loss or full profits. Yeah, I don't like taking break even. So I would have maintained my stop loss down here and given the market room to play around until my target is hit. And these things here are understandable. Go look at the time that is happening. It's happening exactly at 12. 12, the market is pausing. There is, some form of break. And then the PM session begins at 1:30. So there's a break between 12 to 1. 1 hour break and PM session begins. So these pullbacks are understandable during the lunch time. So you don't have to be scared. You know that your bias is bullish. You've seen the reversal sequence. We've dipped down into 1 hour order block and then 4-hour imbalance. We have SMT divergence, change in state of delivery. Your bias is bullish. Your target is hanging there. You get your entry. There is no need to be scared out of your trade. So a lot of people say that trade what you see, react to what market is doing. If you're going to react to everything that you see, the market will fool you around all the time. Go look at this big push down. People, if you are dump and you are trading just market structure, you'll be like, oh, we're broken structure here after taking this. So you'll be selling.
Okay.
So you'll be selling from here and just market just blows through it. So you don't just react. You anticipate what you expect for the day. You see, you wait for the kind of sequence to see your reversals taking place, then you want to jump in after us. So we are not just reacting to price. We are trying to predict what price will do before it even plays out. The fact that we are trying to predict what it will do doesn't mean we jump in blindly. There is a sequence that we wait for, and if they are all in play, then we know that the bias that we have or the projection that we already have is gonna work out. And that's exactly what happened here, and our target has been hit. And that's that's same for our trade that we took on gold. Where is gold? That's same for our trade that we took on gold. So gold, a very similar setup on gold, right? So what do you see? We have a daily imbalance. Price comes into the imbalance and closes like this, right? So internal, and we expect price to trade towards external liquidity. So low hanging fruits will be this high, and then the next target can be this rejection block that we just hit, and then the third target can be this swing high. Okay, so this will be your target for today. We are expecting market to expand higher based on what we've seen on Tuesday. Okay, bullish imbalance, we take Monday's low into the imbalance, reacted aggressive push up and government candle. So we're expecting Wednesday to give a bullish expansion or continuation. Low hanging fruit. Sorry, this is not the low hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit is at previous day's high, but this one previous day's high was not really far. So our low hanging fruit will be the rejection block, right? And then this high will be our second target. So if you are expecting today to expand higher, we are going to expect price to open, manipulate lower into some key PD area on the 4-hour or the 1 hour, and then right time of day, market should turn around towards our target. And that's exactly what happened. And so let's quickly review that on the 15 minutes. So like I said, I don't trade gold in Asia and I don't trade gold in London, New York is the easiest to trade because you have Asia's information and then London's information to predict what New York will do, right?
Should you go to the 4 hour first to
Oh yeah,
identify the
you are good. You are right. So once we have our buyers on the daily, we need to find supporting PDRAs on the 4 hour. So we're gonna go to the 4 hour to find supporting PDRAs where price can make a false move into it to trick people that it's gonna sell, but it's only coming into that level to reverse. So let's go to the 4 hour and the 1 hour. So going to the 4 hour, the first level I saw was this order block. So we don't have any imbalances here. So this is the only thing that I see on gold, a 4 hour order block. Yeah. Let's see if you can find any other level on the 1 hour. Yeah, on the 1 hour we can also mark these imbalances, but it was traded into, so we can just focus. We can refine the order block to this 1 hour order block. And we can expect price to make a false move at the open into this 1 hour order block to turn around. Very good. So now we have our supporting PDRA refined on the 1 hour. Now we go to the 15 minutes and we are waiting for time, right? Time and price. So if you are bullish, we expect price to open at midnight and go below midnight, right? Manipulate below the midnight price. So the 12 a.m. midnight price is here, this black bar. We open, we go below it. Asia, if you are bullish, you can expect Asia to form the low of the day by manipulating lower and then turn around, right? So what Asia did was Asia opened here 2 a.m. New York time, manipulated this swing low and then broke structure up here, right? So
That's London, right?
that's
London.
That's London. So London opened, took Asia's low, broke structure up, right? So London has given us a fair idea to confirm our bias for the day. Our bias is bullish. We expect price to open, drop below midnight open price to our PDRA that we found on the 1 hour to create a low of the day. But usually London is what creates the real manipulation. So London manipulates lower here and break structure. So you're expecting New York continuation, right? So we mark this other block plus the fair value gap as well. And then we wait for New York. So New York, let me change the color of this. Or let me just push this to the left. So that's the 1 hour OB. And now we have our new M15 order block after break of structure and manipulation in London. So we are expecting New York continuation. So like I said, New York is the easiest to trade because you already have information on what London has done. The manipulation phase has been completed. Break of structure, change of delivery. We're just waiting for New York to open, give us a Judah swing lower into another block that has been created or a fair value gap that has been created. Then we can take the continuation, as simple as that. So like I said, I use 8:30 a.m. New York time as my New York open for gold. Okay. So we open at 8:30. So 8:30 open price is here. If you are bullish, you expect price to go below the open, tap into a fair value gap, order block that has been created. I don't expect further manipulation because we've already manipulated lower in London and broken structure. So I'm just expecting New York continuation. But I also expect New York Judah swing, but not to take London's low. It can happen that we may have a high impact news that can cause further manipulation. So if there is a high impact news, I can watch 20 to 30 minutes after the 8:30 high impact news, because that can also cause further manipulation lower. But today we didn't have any high impact news at 8:30. So I expected the London manipulation low to be protected. Okay, protected low because we've manipulated lower in London. So that's London here. So I don't expect any aggressive manipulation below it. I'm expecting it to hold. So 8:30 opens, and I'm just expecting the Judah swing lower into this other block to then buy. And that's exactly what you saw. This fair value gap, this other block, we tap into them, and the rest was history. Price bought all the way towards our target. Very, very beautiful. Okay, and it's still moving, and we are still in this trade. So the target has been hit, but we can still hold towards this target. We might not get there today, but we might get there tomorrow, or in Asia, we might get there. So first target has been met, and expecting price to keep traveling towards these highs. Okay, so that's a beautiful trade, and this was the reason why we took this buys on on gold today with the team. Yeah, and, it was the reason. I'm trying to bring out this chart. But yeah, basically that is it. If you have any questions, you can ask.
No, right now that makes total sense. No, and right now where it's resetting to just its in gold, its pullback is understandable because of time, and it's pullbacking right into that previous gap, value gap. It makes sense, right? Like you keep holding even though you're saying what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't expect much further pullback.
Exactly. So as you can see, there's it. We smashed by some gold, and that was beautiful. So that's it. You keep it simple. Identify your daily bias, and then power of 3, and then you take your continuation setup in the right time of day. Okay, during your New York Q zone. Very, very simple.
How far back do you see price pulling back on gold before it continues?
So right now, I will let gold close. When gold closes, my bias, I will reevaluate my bias after this candle closes. I'll reevaluate my bias, and then if I reevaluate my bias and I still think price will keep pushing towards this level, I'll find a supporting level on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, and then I'll expect the same thing to happen again. Drop into that, force move into that, wait for time of day, power of 3, take continuation again. Yeah. So I'll wait for this candle to close. For now, targets have been hit for today. Because price can also reject from this rejection block and reverse, right? Even though we are expecting price to keep trading towards the external range high, price can just go bearish from this rejection block. So I would like to see how we close today, and then I'll reevaluate. If I'm bullish tomorrow, I'll go to the 4-hour, and then probably after this candle closes, we're going to create a 4-hour imbalance, and then I can watch that imbalance tomorrow. There's a 4-hour imbalance that we are creating, in the process of creating. So I'll let this candle close. Today's daily candle close. If I'm still bullish, I'll keep this 4-hour imbalance. And tomorrow, I'm expecting Judah swing into the imbalance, waiting for time, New York session, power of 3, and I'll get my confirmation with change instead of delivery or break of structures. And I'll target this high up there. Okay, target that high there. So that's how I'm going to handle it. Very simple.
Perfect. Very simple.
Yeah. So if you have any question, you can ask. If not, then I'm done with the breakdown.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right, great.